budget now.
Let's get ready to rumble!
What a performance that was.
Wow, wonderful viewers out there. It's time for Sportsville. My name is George Alua. I hope you are set to roll with us. For us here, we are set to fire on all cylinders, and I have my colleagues in-house. Tony Wokoma Obani is here, and Ben Alozie is equally here. And it's really a loaded package, I must tell you. We are still celebrating what happened out there in Europe. Talk about the UEFA Champions League and the Europa Cup. The road to Baku and Madrid is clear now. We know the teams that are going there, and interestingly, for the first time in history, it is an all-English final. We'll talk about that on the show. Then we'll talk about our own Nigerian Professional Football League, where one of my colleagues said off camera that it is 1 week, one trouble. Well, all that on the show for you today. Not forgetting that, as usual, we'll start with top news, where we'll take a look at other sports. Let's take this break. When I come back, then I introduce my guests. Don't go away. It is Sportsville. All right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, you've not missed much. Let me introduce my guest now. I'm not working alone in the studio. On that note, let me welcome Ben Alozie. Ben, welcome to Sportsville.
George, it's my pleasure to be here once again. And welcome back from Cape Verde. I hope you had fun.
I had fun. Thank you very much. And let me, on that note, welcome Tony Wokoma Obani. I was watching him from Cabo Verde, where he was firing on all cylinders. And I was saying, well done, Tony. Tony, welcome to Sportsville.
Yeah, thank you so much, George, and welcome back from Cape Verde. And we did miss you, but at least we are very comfortable with your reports, you know. And
you thought whether I was going to defect?
defection didn't come to my mind. I knew.
What came to your mind?
I know your rascalities when you travel. They're all the same. I welcome you, George.
All right. Thank you, Tony, and thank you for holding forth. Thank you to my producer, Tayo Gushe. You guys did a wonderful job. Let's now go straight to the show today. Let's start with athletics and tell you that the Edo State government has assured that it will continue to support the Okpekpe Road Race Marathon, the 10-kilometer marathon that is coming up this month. And Honorable Philip Shaibu made this reassurance when the organizer of the race, Mike Itamago, paid him a courtesy call. It's a good one that the Okpekpe Road Race has continued even with a new government in place in Edo State. Tony, we are looking forward to the Okpekpe Road Marathon.
George, indeed we are, and I must confess that Okpekpe has brought a lot of good luck, has brought a lot of shine to Edo State and indeed to Nigeria. It has really placed Nigeria and Edo State, you know, on an international map. Before now, George, I do not know how many people living in Nigeria that know about Okpekpe. You and I never.
The place is even more popular than Auchi now.
Yeah, it is.
They used to say Okpekpe near Auchi.
If you talk about it now anywhere in the international calendar, you know, about sports, people already know about Okpekpe. And I think that it has brought a lot of things, good things, you know, to bear on the state, especially when you talk about commerce. And it has impacted so much on the lives of the residents of Okpekpe. And even the residents, the Nigerian runners in the, you know, in Okpekpe, so many of them have benefited immensely, you know, from what Okpekpe has come to do. And I think that's the hallmark of Mike Etamagbo. You know, almost in everything that Mike does, you know, there is always this touch, you know, that he brings. And I'm so happy that Edo State governor has, you know, have already, you know, accepted this and equally promised that they will keep on burning the lights on Okpekpe, because this is just the only way that we can let people know that Nigeria exists. Because truly inside Nigeria that we are living, most of us are just not living, but we are just participating.
Okay, but thank God we are doing well in sports. And still talking about marathon, the Lagos Media Marathon has suffered several postponements. The last one was because of Workers' Day, May 1, and Ramadan fast. It has been moved now as we speak. Tony is the Mike Etamagbo of Lagos Media Marathon. I would not know whether that race will take place. Tony, what is the update?
It's good for you to, call me Michael Tamago. I hope
Of Lagos Media Marathon.
I hope that in pocket I can be like Michael Tamago. I must say that truly that the media marathon definitely will happen this month, and we truly want to apologize to so many people because we couldn't compete with Workers' Day. Memphis, all of us, even the runners themselves, were participating in one way or the other in celebrating Workers' Day. So we looked at it, coupled with the fact that sponsors actually wanted it extended. So we looked at it, just to, for better performance judge. And I guess that almost everybody who is coming out to run, in the media marathon will always go home a winner because we have, prizes for everybody that steps out to run. And the number of people who have indicated their interest to participate in the media marathon, George, is amazing.
Okay, it's amazing. So many people were participating in the Lagos Media Marathon FIFA catching up everywhere. Away from athletics and marathon, let's tell you that cricket, then the Nigeria senior men's cricket team, the Yellow Greens, will play 10 T20 friendly matches during their tour in Zimbabwe ahead of their participation in the International Cricket Council ICC African Division 1 qualifier that will be taking place in Uganda from May 15 to 23. Later this month. So it's a good one that our Yellow Greens will play several international friendlies in Zimbabwe before the competition proper. Ben.
Like you say, it's a very good one for the Nigerian cricket team. The Zimbabwe is one country where they play cricket. It's just one of their top, sports. Mm-hmm. And going there to take full advantage of the facilities there is a very good one. And for the Nigerian team, I mean, they can't ask for anything less than that. I think that will do a lot of good to them as they head into the African Championship.
All right, preparing the Zimbabwe is a good one for the Nigerian cricket team ahead of the competition proper in Uganda. I hope they will make good use of that, like Bernard Ozie said. Away from cricket now, let's take you to rugby and tell you that a new rugby club called the Lagos Island Rugby Football Club will be launched on the 6th of July. This one is coming courtesy of Mr. Larinde Williams, who is a politician. He said it wants to be welcome for the incoming Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The game of rugby, they are actually really doing very well. So new one there, the Lagos Island Rugby Football Club, Ben.
The game is gaining ground every day, more so in Lagos. We have at least last count. We have about no less than 7 clubs, good quality, rugby clubs. So, in addition to them, I mean, it's good for more so. It's another way to let the incoming governor key into the development of the game of rugby. It's a good idea. It's a good one.
Okay, Sanwo-Olu there queuing into rugby and talking about governance in Lagos. One man that has done well is Ambode. He is the outgoing governor, and there is a game for him, a testimonial game. As we speak now, 18 ex-internationals will be coming from different parts of Africa to be part of the Ambode testimonial game. And Didier Zokora, Yaya Toure, Didier Drogba, all of them from Côte d'Ivoire said they are coming, and in fact Chelsea fans in Nigeria are planning a special welcome for Drogba and co ahead of the Ambode game. That game comes up at the Agege Stadium now, the Soccer Temple, on May 18. Tony, I think it's going to be a carnival of some sort.
Indeed, George, it's really going to be, for us, one is for us to bid farewell to a governor who has done absolutely well in his term. No matter what people say about Ambode, I think Ambode opened up on sports and, of course, showed so much interest and zeal, for sports. And more so the fact that the ex-internationals they're bringing, talking about Didier Drogba, one of Africa's best players ever, coming to Nigeria. We're not going to restrict, the reception to Chelsea fans. I think every other fan of, football should come and welcome all the African stars that are coming to also beat an African son, Ambode, who has done Lagos and Nigeria very, very proud, for this game. It's a game that everybody must watch. And indeed, I will be there at the Agege stadium, to welcome Drogba and of course Zakura and so many other ex-internationals who are going to be part of the game, George.
It's going to be fun, I must tell you. And Nigerian ex-internationals themselves are warming up. Us today, Guavo, Kano, Wankwo, JJ. In fact, the struggle now is who will captain the Nigerian ex-international. So, but why they are calling, the organizer of that show said whoever captains the Nigerian team will be based on current form, even though they are no longer playing. So we'll see who wears the captain's bat on that day. And talking about somebody trying to do well now, one man that Bash Ali is happy with, he has been castigating him before now, is the Minister of Sports. Bash Ali said, yes, finally, the minister has done the right thing. He has written Bash Ali to say that there will be inauguration of the local organizing committee for the Guinness World Book of Record fight on May 24. So Bash Ali came to this studio, he complained bitterly, but as we speak now, Dalong has done the right thing. The inauguration of that LOC will come up May 24 in Abuja, and that will open the vista of opportunity for Bash to realize his dream of hosting that fight at 63.
George, I'm happy that Bash Ali is happy, finally for Bash Ali to also call so many people to tell them that the minister has repented. You just ask the question, why this long? And why is it now that the minister himself is about packing out of Abuja that he's doing this? Like they say, better late than never. It's a very good thing. The important thing is just for us to see that Bash Ali realizes his lifetime dream of getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. And I think the young man has so much good plans for Nigeria, because it will rub off on Nigeria too. If all his plans, pay-per-view and all those things could just come to reality, I think that Nigeria will find, one way in the other, just smile to the bank, as Bash Ali himself will also move over to Ogba, where the Guinness headquarters is, to tell them that I am the man in your books now. So all the free drinks of Guinness, bring them to me.
All right, Bash Ali's dream is being realized. We hope at the end of the day he will get right this his vision of becoming the oldest boxer in the world to win a world title. Well, Bash Ali will tell you that
George, win or lose. The important thing is that once he steps in there, win or lose, Bash Ali he will definitely, move into the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest boxer to even appear, in a boxing this thing at that age.
And he said he's not on a suicide mission. He can tell you
He's not,
that.
because the young man, when you see him, the way
man
he
at
swings,
64.
He's a very young man, very fit, and indeed very determined.
Okay, and very, very determined. And we wish Bash Ali the best of luck. Away now from that, let's tell you that one place to go to now, as I speak with you, is really Bayelsa State, where you have the Samson Siasia Stadium. Fantastic stadium, very small, compact stadium, good stuff, and new athletics track is being put in place now. That stadium will host the Nigeria-Sudan game. Hopefully, the under-23 game. Imam Amakakpabu and the NFF have decided to take that game there. And the man that is putting that facility in place, talk about our friend Moni Michel Ebiegbe, spoke to us exclusively on updates, talk about putting in place a world-class facility in the Samson Siasia Stadium. Let's hear from Ebi. Hello, Ebi.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on your program. Well, first of all, it's very important for me to say a big thank you to the executive governor of Bayelsa State, who have done extremely well in terms of sports facility development in the state. As you know, Bayelsa have a new international airport with the longest runway in Nigeria, which is good for the game, because we're expecting the Sudanese guys to fly into the Yenagoa International Airport. Also, we have a fantastic five-star hotel right now called the Castle Tulip Hotel, beautiful, one of the best in the country, good scenery, overlooking a golf course, And the stadium itself, of course, Moni Michel, where the guys have put together one of the best technologies when it comes to synthetic turf pitches. Pitches are the closest if the technology have got into national turf. We just compared with the Nimba Stadium. Apart from the turf, we just completed the first ever IWF approved full polyurethane athletic track at the stadium. Our floodlights is top notch. The stadium had no toilet facility before for spectators. The government has given express directives for us to construct toilets for spectators' toilets, which we have done. Our seats are ready. Our scoreboards is in the country. Changing room is top notch. So we're doing everything possible to make sure we put a very good show. As you know, Bayelsa is a sporting state. Bayelsa is a football state. I'm pretty sure the NFF is not going to regret bringing that game to Bayelsa State because we're ready to host the world.
All right, that was Ebiegbe Moni Michel talking about the Samson Siasia Stadium. We'll hopefully see that stadium when Nigeria hosts Sudan in the Olympic qualifiers. The female World Cup, I talk about female World Cup. When Nigeria's own female World Cup, talk about the Take Cup final took place there last year between Rivers Angel and Aqua United ladies. So, kudos to Bayelsa State government for doing a good job of that stadium. And still talking about Nigeria and our league, it is 1 week, one trouble, like somebody told me off camera. We saw what happened in Maiduguri, where players were held hostage. Go round. They were held hostage after they held Academy to a 2-2 draw. And thank God for the security agencies. But at the end of the day, it was a very scary experience. I think my producer is showing you that shouldn't happen in a league game. It shouldn't be war, but football. We saw what happened at the Remo Stadium, Gateway, not really Gateway, Remo Stars, Bendel Insurance. And then it's been trouble, crisis from one match venue to the other. One man that is not happy with this and he shared his thought with us is Chibuzo Zurumba. He played for Heartland Football Club. He played for Enyimba. He was there when Enyimba won the CAF Champions League back-to-back. Let's hear Chibuzo Zurumba speak on the Nigerian Professional Football League and the crisis that is trailing it.
Thank you. Yeah, first, let me just talk about the league generally. When you have an abridged league, there seems to be kind of pressure from officials to referees. There are some areas like Port Harcourt, you always have that in mind that you will have problems. Because I've been in that place, I've stayed in that place, I've played game in that place. I know what the fans can do. Talk about Bayelsa, for example. Then you talk about some other places because people seem to want to win every game at all costs, not minding the kind of players they have. Sometimes they don't hold their officials accountable because sometimes it boils down on the kind of players you got. Like in Enyimba, you hardly hear that a fan, people attack a visiting team because of why they know what they have. They know the kind of quality players the Anyansi-led administration always bring to Enyimba. You go to Rangers, for example, now, hardly you hear that somebody is attacked. But most of the places you see those things happening are the places where the officials cut corners. Because if you want to improve the league, you must do the right thing. Even when your fans see the kind of player game their team put on, so impressive, sometimes they will say, okay, yes, we lost, but we played very well. Because some of these officials are the sponsors of these thugs who always cause problems because they will go back, give them money to harass the referee, for the referee to just feel kind of insecure to do their bidding. So there are so many things. We have not started running our league very well. And also the officials of the club, most of the chairmen, they are the problem because they always want to do something in their own favor. Then when they go to continent, they know that this one is a different ballgame. This is our problems because some of officials pretended they are the ones sponsoring these talks. I think that is the way it is.
All right, that was Chibuzo Zurumba there, and he said one big problem with the league is the club chairman. They know these people who create this trouble, and yet nobody holds them accountable. Ben.
George, all these are about very, very, sad commentary, on our football and our local league. Having said that, too, let us not blame the chairman or the club managers alone. There's an area that the NFF has not even looked at. That
should be the LMC.
Yeah. The LMC here, yes, correct. The LMC, the FA across Nigeria, they have not been doing enough. For instance, if there's an issue at any venue, we blame the clubs. We look at the crowd. But no, there's not been serious, sanction against the FA because they are the managers of every game. They manage every game. If you take
the state FA.
Yes, they're not doing enough. This is my own opinion, because talk about security. Who organizes security? Does the clubs organize security? It is the responsibility of the FHM. I am a match commissioner. I commission matches where if the FA during pre-match meeting, they will tell you, oh, we are bringing 50 policemen. The FA, they are the people that organize such. By the time you get to the stadium,
you will not see any police.
I insisted on since, and they will tell you they are coming, and they are coming. They will never
just start the game.
Just start the game, and that is the danger. The FA, they must sit up. They must not, they must not encourage such things with the clubs that are domiciled in their own area of jurisdiction. I think it's a point.
So the big challenge, Tony, like Ben has pointed out, is security. Who wants to come to the stadium and wouldn't want to live alive?
George, it's a very bigger problem, bigger than what we think it is. And I think it's not just about, the state affairs. I think the bigger problem lies in the doors of the LMC. They are in charge of the league. Even when you talk about meting out punishments, to the state affairs, and of course, people don't comply with, rules and regulations governing the football. I think everything comes down to LMC. If LMC sanctions a state FA, that did not do its work in terms of provision of security, yes, making sure that the number of securities, comply with what the law says. The next time a match moves to another state, that state FA will sit up and then do the right thing. It's just because we have a short way, we have what we call Appian way of doing things.
Cutting corners.
Just Nigerian way, we can always do things. We are talking about football. It's a global thing. There are no two laws about these things. If the law specifies that 50 security men must be there,
on ground,
and of course the match commissioner needs to count them, take a head count of this, he should. Just we are talking about, protecting lives. And of course you've seen, what, when things go wrong, when things go bad, how it affects, the lives of citizens, people that just come to enjoy themselves. I think the LMC should sit up, and of course the referees themselves should equally be very, very fair. I must commend them that for some time they've really upped the ante of their refereeing. But then, George, we cannot have different laws applying to Nigeria when we are talking about a global football, something that would belong to FIFA. We don't have to FIFA.
A team should be able to win anywhere.
Anywhere. George, that's exactly what we see in the EPL. That's what we see in the La Liga, and of course, in the league.
And that is where we are coming to. Tony is already moving to the La Liga. He's moving to the EPL. What we see here is shambolic compared to what you see out there in Europe and other parts of the world. And that will take us to the UEFA Champions League when we come back after this break. Don't go away. I hope you're enjoying it. It is Sportsville.
Hi guys, I'm Ray Parler from Arsenal and England. Please watch Sportsville.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of the show. Like we told you, we are talking about the European Champions League now, and even the Europa Cup, where it is an all-English affair. Somebody said EPL is all about hype, but they have proven that wrong. Who would before now say you have an all-English final in Baku and in Madrid? Look at the way Tottenham did it. They came from the dead to beat Ajax, and then Liverpool, surprise of the century, beating almighty Barcelona by 4-0. Ben,
fantastic.
Did you see the Liverpool magic coming?
No, many people that know the character of Liverpool, we are very confident. I was one of them that said, look, in football, it's never over until it's over. Even the first leg that Barcelona won, they won 3-0. If you look at that match, analyze it properly, Liverpool were not outclassed. They were in the game. The goals that Barca scored, in my opinion, some of them were against the run of play. So which meant that the Liverpool, they were really in the game proper. So the second leg it was their own game, in my opinion, and I was not disappointed. So, but you also recall that after the first leg, Mercurial Messi said, yes, 3 goals, but he wished they had made it 4 goals. He knew what was to come. Yes. So, Liverpool, honestly, they won the heart of if of even fans of Barca, the way they went about it, fantastic. Coming that all the way to beat, to make it. Honestly, they have set a record, a fresh record, a record that will live for a long time to come in UEFA.
Tony, before you come in, this is a final that has an African touch, but without Nigeria. Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah.
George, and that's why that Nigerians were not working alone. When you talk about Nigeria, first of all, when there is no Nigerian in that pitch, the next thing that comes to your mind, is there any African there? And of course, when you talk about Africans, you're talking about two quality players, that will be representing Africa. Talk about Sadio Mane and Mo Salah. And Mo Salah didn't play in the semi-finals, but at least he came up with something that before now, within a space of time, you'll be seeing it, everybody will be adorning it. Never give up. There was no support that was bigger than what
he wore to the stadium.
That what Mo Salah did. And George, I think that is to show you that whether you play, whether you are behind, whether you are on the sub, George, a player is a player. And Nigerian footballers should up their ante, George, because you can't be playing the Champions League and you say that you're the giant of Africa, and with the type of talents that are bound in Nigeria, and that won't have up to 1-2 players playing in a club that is playing in the Champions League. Just it's a lot like playing the World Cup without Brazil.
Okay, we'll hope that Nigerian players will eventually make it. We'll have somebody like Villarreal boy Chukwueke now, just 19. He's doing well for his club. We'll hope that he will play at the highest level, and we wish our own Lucy will be well in Baku when Arsenal take on Chelsea. Well, from that, let's quickly give you the upcoming events before we run out of the studio, because my producer is telling me that we'll have to call it a day. Let's quickly tell you that from March 13 to 17, the Nigerian National League transfer season will open, and then from the 16th to 19th, you talk about the 2019 PGA Championship in the United States of America, and then like we told you earlier on May 18, the Lagos Media Marathon will be coming up, although not still confirmed. Tony will be confirming that, but one thing that is confirmed for May 18 is the IAF Diamond League that will be taking place in Shanghai, China. And same May 18, you talk about the Women's Champions League final. Our players may not be in the final in the men's event, but in Hungary, our own Aziza Toshala will be donning Barcelona's jersey. So that's a plus for Nigerian women football. That's the show. Let me say a big thank you to Ben for coming to this show.
It's been a wonderful moment with this team.
And Tony.
Thank you so much, George. I await your package from Kevad.
No problem. We'll talk about off camera. We'll talk about that off camera. That's the show. See you next week. Bye bye and God bless.